Well, let's stay in the world of Star Wars, Sean. Let's move on to this rumor about Jesse Plemons. This is supposedly happening here that Jesse Plemons from Civil War, as you see there, I love the Civil War, 0 Day Killers of the Flower Moon, reportedly has, quote, has the offer for the role of the lead villain in the new Star Wars film being directed by Free Guy and Deadpool and Wolverine helmer Sean Levy at Disney and Lucasfilm. He also did Night at the Museum, I want to remind people. Daniel RPK reported the scoop, which follows on from a report last week that Killing Eve and The Last Duel star Jodie Comer is in talks to join the project as well. If true, they would join previously announced three-time Oscar nominee Ryan Gosling in the project, co-written by Levy and Jonathan Tropper. The project is reportedly a contained standalone film not connected to the Skywalker saga and is set after the events of Rise of Skywalker. The new film is said to have a significantly smaller budget than the previous Disney Star Wars films. Kathleen Kennedy, Sean Levy, and Jonathan Tropper will produce, while filming to take place in the UK later this year. And we talked about Plemons already, but Plemons was rumored to be in the running to play Kylo Ren in Star Wars Force Awakens prior to Adam Driver scoring the part. And he has Yorgos Lanthimos' Begonia coming and Inarritu's new film on the way as well. So Jesse, another one of these incredible actors, completely in his prime right now. So, yeah, I mean, Jesse Plemons, Jodie Comer, and Ryan Gosling. That's a hell of a lineup for a film of yours. This doesn't feel like a Deadpool, Wolverine, yuck joke fest. This feels like something of much more heft and weight. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's interesting to me because Jess has come up now twice, talking about these big franchises, and I started watching him back in his high school show, Friday Night Lights.
Oh God, yes.
I live in Central Texas, so Friday Night Lights is like royalty. Like they literally shot parts of it around here. There's a stadium I can see the lights from it from my office right here. That's in the show. Like that's how Friday Night Lights Central. So that's my memory for him is like Landry's taken off in his career, and then of course Breaking Bad and all of the other things that he's done over the last 10 years. So he's of course great. He's versatile. My first thought, though, is he has a very specific, like, naturalistic style to what he does that feels different from a lot of typical Star Wars acting. There's a certain theatricality. And even you say, like, he's great, and you say that he was in the running for Kylo Ren. I go, how does that? Like, I don't see, like, my brain can't see it. I haven't seen Adam Driver's Kylo Ren, and he's like, what? What would that? Like, I'm confused hearing that. So I'm very curious what this movie is. Now, people, think Sean Levy and they go Deadpool and Wolverine, but like this is a guy that's been around for 20 years that has done a lot of different movies, a lot of different genres, and had a lot of big, gigantic hits. That just knows how to work with a lot of people. And that's the side to it where you go, that bringing him into the world of Star Wars, like there's a lot of potential for something cool there. And that we're doing a story that's standalone. That's another thing I'm just excited about of like what... The world of Star Wars has so many little pockets that you can explore. Yeah, and we're going to do that, and it looks like we're going to have an awesome cast.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. I was a little I like Sean as a director. I think he does really good crowd-pleasing fare. Yes, I don't really think of Sean as like an Inarritu or any of these other directors that deliver much more, or even Tony Gilroy with what he did at Andor. I don't think of Sean Levy that way. That being said, it doesn't mean he can't do it. It doesn't mean he can't explore something like that. So if you're going to take a chance to maybe shake up your brand or style of directing a little bit and take on a much more serious story, you want to bring actors that are going to help you bring that across and maybe do a little bit of the extra work that you don't necessarily know how to do just yet. And you bring in someone like Ryan Gosling and Jodie Comer and Philip Seymour Hoffman, who all delivered layered, nuanced, and complex performances in a lot of the things they've done in the past. So this, to me, gets me excited now for this movie in a way that I wasn't necessarily. And Jodie, as people are pointing out, played Rey's mother, and there's rumors that Rey is supposed to appear or be a part of this movie. So what are we telling here? What are we exploring? Are Ryan Gosling and Jodie Comer Rey's parents? Are what are we exploring here? And is Hoffman the one, is Plemons the one that kind of deters them from and makes them give up Rey? I don't know. So there's all kinds of things that go on my head, or are these completely different things? I know they say standalone, but they always say standalone, and then a Skywalker thing shows up or Vader shows up. So you just never know. And so to me, this gets me really excited. And even if they don't go that route, I think people will forget that she was Rey's mom or don't care about it if you do a good movie. So I'm excited all around to see what they're going to create here with all this cast, man.